Hello, welcome back to my channel, or if this is your first time here, welcome. My name is Sarah, and on this channel I post anti-MLM and scam commentary, so if that's your sort of thing, I would love for you to subscribe, like this video, leave a comment, all those kinds of things. And with that, let's get started. For today's video, we are going to be diving into some recent updates with MONAT. They had a last-minute, very confidential meeting in Miami with their top-ranking leaders, so SEDs and EDs, which are their senior executive directors and their executive directors. The email that they sent out went out very closely to the time that they needed to be down in Miami, and it kind of seemed to leave a lot of people scrambling. Their annual directors meeting is typically in January, so right now it is November, so this kind of seemed a little out of place and a little unusual to say the least. There definitely appeared to be some urgency. A couple of reps shared a screenshot of the email that they received, and it gave a vibe of like, drop everything and come here, but like, if we look a little below the surface, it was kind of giving major, we need to fix something fast vibes. So this is a clip of the email that was shared, and it says, "An invite from Ray, you're invited. Dear executive directors, as some of our top MONAT leaders, your insights and perspective are incredibly important to us. We deeply value your contributions and trust your ability to help shape the future of MONAT. That's why we're thrilled to extend this special invitation to you to join us at our Miami headquarters for a two-part leadership meeting with MONAT, SEDs, and executives as we gear up for an incredible 2025. And then it gives out the dates, which actually in the end isn't super important, but it might kind of give some context as we move through the story. So date November 19th, 2024. It looks like it was a full day, 9 to 5. And then date November 20th, 2024, 9 to 12. And the email appears to be dated either November 17th or 18th, kind of depending on when the screenshot was taken. And the meetings happened on November 19th and 20th. So you can kind of see just how last minute the meeting really seemed to be scheduled. But that's not exactly a lot of time to plan for what appears to be a pivotal strategy session. On the bottom of one of the screenshots that was shared of the email, one rep posted, "Nothing like a surprise trip to headquarters. The girls and I had a sleepover in child's name last night, and the boys had one upstairs to make up for mommy leaving again. But I thank them for allowing mommy to travel for work, and they are pumped to spend a few days with Gigi." It feels like when you're asking everyone to drop everything with virtually zero notice, it doesn't exactly scream stability or confidence in the direction of the company. Once they were at the meeting, reps were busy posting photos of their non-disclosure agreements, their NDAs. But the real kicker here is that if you actually look at some of the text that they shared at the top of the NDA, you can see that there is a mention of another meeting, what looks to be a leadership strategy lunch or potentially brunch on December 1st. And that appears to be either the entire reason or part of the reason that they had to sign this NDA. And then there's like the meeting itself. People were sharing photos and videos from within the meeting that they were at, and either this was done accidentally or somewhat purposefully, but you can see in one of the screenshots that someone was jotting down notes. It appears that they wrote more money for bottom MPs and maybe even a mention of waiving fees. Again, it's kind of hard to tell because this was just like a screenshot of someone's jotted down notes within the meeting. But if that's accurate, it could sort of signal that there's a level of desperation to retain those lower members of the organization. Because let's be real, if MONAT is worried about those lower ranks leaving, it could basically allude to the fact that their entire organization could be crumbling. But then later on, a rep posts a video of her in the warehouse, which we'll watch here. And the caption says, "Snuck into the warehouse to find clues for y'all. Sorry, none today. Plus, I would hate to spoil the surprise." And for context, this was posted, I believe, 2 days after the official start date of the meetings. So that would be November 21st, I believe. Of course, it could have happened days earlier and then was just posted, but it just all kind of contributes to this mysterious meeting and what was actually discussed there, why they'd be down in the warehouse. Is it something to do with the products? It felt like the intention was to be lighthearted, but of course it just contributes to more confusion and intrigue as to what the purpose of this meeting was. Was it about unveiling some big changes? Like I said, potentially some new products that she would be looking for in the warehouse? Could it be just that they're hyping up the reps, or that something big is right around the corner? I just kind of feel stuck on the reason for having to have the NDAs. I'm not entirely sure if this is something that is normal within MONAT, because if it is, it might just be like business as usual, but it feels odd, A, that they had to sign them, and B, that they were promoting the fact that they had to sign them. The timing almost also just feels like a little off. They schedule this very last minute meeting with like secrecy and urgency, and then they throw in these NDAs for like good measure. It's like they were attempting to kind of put a lock and key on everything that happens, but I'm not exactly sure why. I don't know if it's like they have this massive exciting announcement that's coming up, or if they're like trying to test out some new strategies before they reveal them, or are they like worried about backlash from their own reps? It just feels like it's a we want to control the narrative type vibe. And then of course that just adds to the mystery of the whole thing, which maybe is like the whole point. But if everything was so amazing and energizing and it was this mastermind, why the like outright secrecy? I really don't know, and I'm curious to hear what you guys think. I just find it utterly bizarre that they had to sign these NDAs and then they went on to share photos of them having received NDAs. And further than that, another thing that I found really, really interesting throughout all of this, no other reps seem to be talking about these leaders at this event. Whereas, like, if they were on an incentive trip, like when MONAT Passport happened and they were in Tulum, reps that were back home, in the United States, Canada, or wherever, were saying like, oh my gosh, my upline is on this amazing trip. She's great. She worked really hard for this. I hope that's me someday. But oddly enough, people that are reps within the US aren't talking about their uplines and these high top leaders being there. And then reps across the world also aren't. It isn't uncommon for reps that are in Australia, for example, who have uplines in the US. They're constantly sharing things about each other from across the world. Where in this case, the US reps that were at this meeting, they kind of did allude to it being fancy and really nice and exciting. But the reps in Australia, based on what I saw, or I guess based on what I didn't see, they're not talking about it. So again, just a further thing of like confusion. I'm not entirely sure what is going on here. Now, I do want to briefly touch on one part of the trip. And I want to say up front that I really thought long and hard about whether or not I was going to include this. I was trying to kind of weigh did it add to the story, or was it something that was not entirely necessary? And ultimately, I did decide that I wanted to briefly discuss it just to kind of give... My goal here is to kind of give a well-rounded picture of events like this, what the reps may be going through on their own mindsets, what these MLM trips sort of require of the reps, or the mindset that they may be in related to the trips. One rep did share an Instagram story, and I'm not going to share the screenshot of it because I don't think it's exactly necessary. I think I can do a decent job of maybe just getting the point across. She received some devastating news about the health of her sister while she, I believe, was en route to go to Miami. And instead of returning home, she did end up staying and continuing on with the trip to attend the meetings. In her story, it seemed that she was emphasizing how important it was to bring, and this is the quote, bring back the excitement of the future of MONAT. Personally, I found this confusing, and again, I want to say this with as much sympathy and empathy as I can, is it just kind of feels like an example of what MLMs have their reps feeling like. It wasn't alluded to that this was like a everyone needs to get down here ASAP. This is an emergency. It was very spun in a very positive, optimistic outlook on the company by how the reps handled the meeting and all the stuff before and after that they did. However, I found it so interesting that she did decide to stay. And I don't know the ins and outs of her family dynamics, but to me, when I was seeing that, it made me think of how MLMs in general, not just MONAT, have this almost grip on people. Like something about the business opportunity feels equally as important as family or as things that are usually very important to most people, as though they've internalized both of these things, family and business, as being so essential to be a part of that you do have to pick. And it's not an instant like, of course I'm going to do this thing over the other thing. They're almost on like an equal playing field. And to me, it just didn't seem like only loyalty. It feels deeper in a way. And again, this is just solely how I feel, of like a programming shift about their role within the company. It was extra interesting that while these meetings were going on, simultaneously reps were everywhere. There were so many MONAT reps on stories, reels, posting a ton about this current deal that they have running with MONAT. So the reps were pushing this deal to join the company, and it's a $70 discount on product packs with a $210 coupon for future purchases. We'll watch just one of the many videos that I saw about this, and just as a note, I did speed this up a little bit and cut some stuff off, but I wanted to include it just for context.
We got some very, very good news from MONAT head office yesterday. So this is for everyone who has been looking, watching, wondering about starting the MONAT business side, okay? This is a huge, huge discount on product packs, as well as a coupon that has come back, a $210 coupon that you're going to receive just for starting your business. So $70 off product packs, which is massive savings. And then you're going to get a $210 coupon straight back to you to get more products next month. So essentially, guys, you are going to be able to start your business for free, for absolutely free, which is just insane, right? To start any business, it's going to cost you money. This is the least amount of money you're ever going to spend to start.
Here's what I kind of can't stop thinking about when it comes to the reps sharing this promotion. Is it actually about recruitment, or are they trying to like offload some things? A $70 discount on starter packs combined with that $210 coupon feels a little less like a recruitment strategy, and potentially, this is just my opinion, that it might be a way for them to get rid of some inventory. And it doesn't even stop there. MONAT had I believe a separate sale, a system sale that they recently extended. I don't exactly know the dates that it was supposed to run, but I saw a rep saying that there's now added time. So she wrote, "Good news, our system sale was extended. If I sent you a cart, you still have time." So why extend the sale? Is it like another attempt to push out excess inventory? Perhaps they're anticipating some sort of business model change. I don't know. And they're trying to like clear the shelves before that happens. It is also possible that they're just trying to hit some sales goals before the end of the year. But between the starter pack discount and then this extended sale, it feels like MONAT is trying extra hard to move products off the shelves. And for me, it raises a lot of questions. And in addition to all of that, they also recently announced that you can now use Klarna with purchases from MONAT. So this says, and this is from the official MONAT Instagram, Klarna is now available from VIP and market partner enrollment orders and FlexShip. And this is how one rep talked about it.
We are out here trying to soak up any vitamin D that the clouds will allow in, but oh my gosh, this is huge. I knew that this was coming, but we didn't know exactly when. And this is huge for you if you've been wanting to try the business, if you've been wanting to try the products, or wanting to start the business with MONAT. We now have payment plan options with Klarna. This is huge. You can literally split out your payments. And I know that's like a big thing. I'll huge reason people start this business is because they don't have money, right? So even though your initial product pack investment compared to a lot of other businesses, most other businesses, is actually very affordable, it still is an expense. And I get it. Like, I get not being able to afford it all up front. So now you have the option to split this down into payment plans. And this is, again, for both people wanting to do the business or just try the This is for anyone wanting to try MONAT, whether you want to try it as a customer or you want to jump into the business, you can do this. So the promotion I was just talking about, not only are you getting it 50% off, you can also split your payments. Like, this is crazy. Like, you can get these products for literally the price of drugstore spread out. It's insane. It's insane. And then also, I'm just excited, so excited for the girlies who've been wanting to start their business and have been trying to save up the money to do it. Now's the time, girl. And I'm also going to just add a little cherry on top for you. I'm going to throw in $150 coupon credit, product credit for you. It's like a rebate basically, so that you can supplement any product that like maybe you don't get in your product pack, whether it's our makeup or more skincare, whatever. You're going to be able to get it and try it and really be able to. I'm just in my feels right now because the same business that I invested $250 in upfront, you can now do in payment plans. And you guys, this $250 box of beauty products has given me the opportunity to earn a car. Hello. I've gone on more than 5, I think it's 5, coming up on 6 earned trips fully paid for. I have not only replaced my corporate income, I've more than doubled it. I'm part of our 100K club, meaning I've earned over $100,000 in commissions, on my way to do 200 very soon. And you can start this for like, I don't know, $50 a month or something. I don't know how the payment plans work, but this is like, girl, we gotta do this. Wow, buddy, that's amazing.
Let's be real here. When a company like MONAT and MLM starts promoting buy now, pay later options, it is a glaring red flag. They're trying to spin it that they're reducing these financial barriers to get started. But in reality, it's probably their next attempt to increase the number of signups and the number of recruits at all costs, even if those recruits can't afford to join. To me, this also seems to like shift financial risk. By using something like Klarna, MONAT is securing their money up front, while now Klarna is going to take on the responsibility of collecting those payments if someone falls behind. It's almost like a strategic move for MONAT. To me, it feels like the company may be targeting those people that can't afford those upfront costs and is sort of luring them in. Again, this is just my opinion, luring them in with this added appeal of flexible payment plans. Instead of acknowledging that this business structure is what appears to be flailing, they're finding new ways to recruit at all costs, no matter how unstable the prospects might be for those that are just joining. Now, this is kind of where I feel like things are a little suspicious with all the emphasis on these new sales strategies, pushing recruitment deals with this buy now, pay later situation, and the secrecy of these meetings. It's hard not to wonder, is MONAT considering a bigger change? Could they be preparing to shut down the MLM part of the business structure and switching to an affiliate-only level model? Many other MLMs have recently shifted to an affiliate model, and if you think of it, these affiliate programs don't at all come with the same level of scrutiny that an MLM does. And they do not rely on a hierarchy of recruitment. Instead, it's just straight commission on sales, which may be more appealing for the people who are totally burnt out of recruiting people to join. Plus, it seems to me that MONAT has been doubling down on the image of their products. So if they focused solely on selling those products through affiliates, they would be able to dodge those pyramid structure accusations entirely. But if that is the direction that they're moving in, what happens to all these reps who have built these massive downlines based on all of their work with recruitment? Would they transition everybody over in some way? Or what I personally think may happen if this is the case is that they would leave everyone to kind of fend for themselves and just write it off as a business decision. So it's definitely worth keeping an eye on, because sometimes it feels like these decisions and announcements come out of left field. For me, it definitely feels like MONAT is ramping up to some major change. In terms of the potential financial strain that the company is experiencing, it could be from like a variety of things. In April of 2024, the former president of MONAT filed a lawsuit against MONAT and its founders. Further than that, of course, there is the income disclosure that MONAT publishes themselves that shows that their reps are not making a lot of or any money. We also obviously have to look at these sales that they are regularly running. MONAT is known for doing these flash sales. I believe it's like every Friday, or they will have a sale and then they'll extend that sale. In addition to us seeing this $70 off for the starter kit and then the coupon towards future purchases. So those promotions could kind of indicate that they are putting in a lot of effort to boost sales, either because of declining demand or excessive inventory. And then, of course, the major thing that I was considering is the shift of so many companies going from MLM to affiliate style models. Companies like BODi, which was Beachbody, there's Rodan and Fields, Saint, Beauty Counter, have all recently shifted away from MLM, likely due to the scrutiny that that business model has on a company. And I'm wondering if that shift is sort of influencing MONAT's future recruitment strategies and their financial planning. Now, I know we kind of started discussing the meeting and then kind of went off track. I just kind of wanted to show what was all happening simultaneously. Now, going back to the actual meetings that happened in Miami, there was one attendee at the meeting. His name is Daniel. I'm going to include his name because he is a public figure. He says he is the world's #1 sales trainer, and he was brought in to speak at this meeting. I'm not sure why. That was a lot of the same person. And I wasn't sure if I was going to include all those different clips, because now we basically have like a 360-degree view of Daniel. But I just wanted to show how the reps were. I feel like when these types of things happen and they have something to brag about, they will all share it. So I just thought it was a little bit funny. And there were a few other clips that were mostly at the same angle, so people that were likely sitting near each other. But it was like, I could have probably made a whole separate video on just every single person's chair of their view of Daniel talking. So by bringing him in, to me, it feels like MONAT may be like doubling down on the mindset and teamwork rhetoric. But it also feels to me like this could be potentially a way to kind of patch up cracks in the system. If things were going smoothly, it doesn't feel like they would have to have this urgent meeting and bring someone in to kind of fire everyone up. It just feels a little suspicious, right? Many of the reps also posted this pamphlet that had the word synergy and then had some other stuff on it. And it just got me thinking, like, between that, Daniel speaking, and just the overall focus on mindset, it feels like they're making like every attempt to address everything else other than what is likely the actual problem. And this is, to me, where it got really weird. Daniel was in person at this meeting with the SEDs and EDs, But then after, I'm not entirely sure, I believe it was the same night as the first meeting. It could have potentially been the night after the second meeting. He was leading a Zoom call with MONAT reps across the country. It said, tonight's training call was insane in the best way possible. So excited for Q4. And I just thought it was kind of funny since we're probably over halfway through Q4, but that's neither here nor there. And then she also said, MONAT provides the absolute best free resources. We win around here for a reason. So this is where I'm stuck. Why was this Zoom online? Or probably a better question is, why was the other meeting in person? If MONAT can plan and execute this webinar online, why couldn't this supposedly very critical meeting that was held in Miami need to be held in person, right? If Daniel can give a virtual training from anywhere online, why couldn't the SEDs and EDs attend a similar session from the comfort of their homes? That was the time that I was really starting to have questions be raised. Was the Miami meeting actually about leadership strategies? Or was it more to control what could be shared and said? Because when you're at an in-person meeting, you can't fully record it like you could a Zoom call. The whole emergency meeting just seems even more suspicious when you realize that it could have likely been held over Zoom, especially if the purpose was to kind of do these leadership type trainings, mindset, whatever it might be with Daniel. He obviously had the time to do a training that day, so why couldn't they just do it either all in one or just two separate sessions over Zoom? Oh, and of course, the CEO asked for a prayer before the meeting.
So I asked Ant to start the day with a prayer so we can get some wisdom today, right?
Honestly, at this point, are we even surprised? Between the prayer circles at MONAT Passport in Tulum, this is clearly a recurring tactic, and it's exhausting to watch it be used over and over in a professional setting. So we are just going to move on. Now, I just want to briefly zoom out. MONAT Passport did just happen a few weeks ago in Tulum, which was an incentive trip, and I covered it in a previous video that I will link to in the description. So on the surface, it could look like they're kind of riding the high of that event, but when you kind of start to put the puzzle pieces together, it starts to feel like the company's trying to address some deeper issues that are going on, whether that be declining recruitment, leadership discontent, or financial instability. I'm not sure, but it really feels like more is going on than what meets the eye. And now moving on November 20th, we got another little glimpse at what sort of went down the day prior. And this video is from a tippity top rep in the company.
Okay, so I can't talk about what we did yesterday. It was really a good day. It was incredible. We had all the leadership, top leaders come in, and we did a mastermind session to improve things. And it was just such a good meeting. The vibe was great. People were great. Everything was great. Home office is absolutely beautiful. And I'm actually heading back there right now so we can go do some photo shoots. And my hair's a mess. I don't know what to do with it. I tried to wave it with my straightener and it did not work out. But anyway, that's it. So, waiting for my ride. We're going to head to home office and then I fly home.
All right, let's talk about this for a second. The way she said improve things was a little odd, right? And it almost felt like it was her way of saying I know you guys are wondering what's going on, and I'm not exactly sure how to spin this either. I'm not sure if she's trying to like reassure her audience that everything is okay, but to me it seemed to almost have like the opposite effect. The other reps that were posting really made it look like a lot of fun and that they were invited to this exclusive meeting. And then in that video, it was very like, I have a feeling that a lot of people are watching these stories and being like, what are you guys doing there? And then it was a mastermind to improve things. And then she goes on to casually almost mention that she's going back to headquarters to do a photo shoot. So after all this secrecy with these NDAs, there's also like, was it like an emergency photo shoot? There's just like this disconnect about how critical the meeting seemed and then like the reality of what is being shared publicly. And this next part is honestly the reason that I wanted to make this entire video, because I really don't know what's going on here. Right after this big, super secret meeting, MONAT's headquarters sort of rolled out the red carpet for what appears to be 2 almost brand new reps. I believe that they came to HQ on November 20th. Even MONAT posted a video on their official Instagram page to highlight them as special visitors at HQ. All right, so I want to start by talking more about the rep that I know a little bit more about. She's been with MONAT for, I think, a little over 2 months, and she was previously with BODi, formerly Beachbody, until they announced that they were switching to an affiliate structure. She was, I assume, not happy about that change, then moved over to MONAT and has been growing her MONAT team quickly. In an Instagram reel from October 15th, which she says was 8 days after she joined MONAT, she said she'd already surpassed what it took her 7 years to make with Beachbody. And then I also want to show you a video that she published on November 9th, where she breaks down how much she allegedly made in her first 30 days with MONAT. So in that video, she claims that she has earned $5,750 in bonuses, rank achievements, and commissions. She is positioning herself as like a relatable small town parent who trusted her instincts and, in her words, took messy action and is now thriving selling shampoo. And of course, she's actively recruiting and saying things like, what could hundreds or thousands of dollars do for you by the end of the year? It is classic MLM, selling the job opportunity just as much, or if not more, than the products. But here's where it gets even more curious. During her visit to HQ, she met not only the chief culture officer, but also had a photo op with the CEO. And then with the other rep, I discovered that she was also with Beachbody and is now with MONAT and Faster Way to Fat Loss, which if you didn't see it in my recent video, I covered Faster Way to Fat Loss. So I will link that in the description if you're curious about that company, who swears it's not an MLM, but we'll just go watch the video. I'm not sure if there's a connection because they were both with Beachbody and that company recently went to an affiliate structure, but why these 2 reps specifically? This was posted by that other rep. Such an epic day. We'll share more, but for now I can't even formulate my words yet for how warm, welcomed, and invited I felt. I already felt amazing about my choice, but hearing? Meeting? I'm not sure. the corporate family today sealed it even further. I am home. So I'm really not sure. I don't know if MONAT is maybe trying to swoop in for these top leaders that were in other MLMs that may be like disillusioned with those changes. In this example, that Beachbody switched to affiliate, I'm almost wondering, like, my gut is telling me that they're maybe trying to spin them as like success stories and are seeing the writings on the wall that other MLMs are likely going to be shifting to an affiliate structure after already so many have. And they're going to be like, this is the place to come to after you've gone through that massive change. Or it could just be like, I don't know, basic PR to say that these new reps have come over and they've been really successful really fast. It definitely feels like very deliberate, and I'm still just stuck very confused as to why these 2 reps specifically were chosen. And if MONAT is so confident in their business opportunity, I just wonder why maybe more weren't chosen to be brought down to HQ so early on into their business that they could have come down there and also met major players from MONAT Global. And circling back just a little, I wanted to show the Instagram reel that one of those 2 reps had shared in advance or at the time that she was invited to go down to HQ.
Let's go!
It says, when you get a message that makes you want to puke, they want to meet you. This is huge. Dude, what is even happening? My girl, you are not normal, LOL. And her caption was, instant sweating, heart racing, shaking, and screenshot the message to Cody. The day is almost here. Tomorrow I get to walk through the doors of headquarters, and I'm more than excited about it. Follow along and watch my stories to see it all unfold. So it's kind of giving like major, this is the start of something big. But again, why her? Why these 2 reps? And why all the spectacle about it? It just seems like MONAT is starting to like build a narrative. Like, look at these star performers. Look at how great it can be if you come here. But it's like so over the top that it's like almost impossible to not question it. Like if they were just being invited out of like the goodness, I don't want to say like the goodness of their hearts, but like maybe like, hey, we're really seeing that you have some great potential and you could potentially make it really big in this company. Please come. We'd love to show you HQ, get them introduced to everyone, etc. But this was not that. It was so hyped up by multiple people, including MONAT official on their official Instagram page. I don't know if they're trying to lean into these specific reps as sort of like a lifeline for the company, like as a way to get more recruits into the MLM, or is it that it's a strategy to appeal to other top leaders from other companies who have since gone affiliate to show them, look at this warm welcome that we give to people. Look at how quickly you can build here. Come to us. We can be your new family. We can be your new home. But like, regardless, whatever it is obviously very calculated, and I'm just not entirely sure of the strategy that's happening here. Now we're going to jump back just a little bit. Towards the end of, I believe was night 1, I found it really interesting that a few of the reps walked down this hallway, or at least walked up to some photos of reps who are top earners within the company, and they all had their pictures on the wall. It was almost like a shrine of success, or potentially a not very subtle reminder of like, look what you could have if you worked harder. But I just had like a small laugh thinking to myself of what happens when a top rep leaves the company and jumps to a different company, because that happens in like every MLM, but specifically MONAT, it has happened that super high tippity top earners within the company have jumped ship to other companies. I'm like, are they just like coming up to these pictures and just like ripping them off the walls? But jokes aside, the hallway just seemed like a representation of the pressure that reps are likely feeling. The photos kind of like project this image of endless success and highlight the very few who have reached the top. It's hard not to wonder how many of those faces will or have already quietly disappeared as people leave, or they realize that the promises of success aren't as realistic as they seemed as they were hyped up to be. It just felt like a perfect visual reminder of how MONAT and other MLMs lean into showcasing the big wins and will just kind of gloss over the challenges that almost every other rep is facing. It's about like maintaining this illusion. Focus on the hallway, the top reps, these incredible photos of these high earners, and kind of like ignore the rest. So now that you have more of like a big picture, and I apologize if I kind of jumped all over the place. I was trying to compile all this stuff and figure out the best way to say this, and it didn't exactly make sense to do it in a timeline. So we kind of did like hop from day to day. But now that you guys have like a fuller picture of what happened in Miami, I just want to say that it feels like almost like bizarre. The reps are dealing with these what seems like constant ups and downs, emergency meetings, NDAs, these like hush hush vibes. But then they turn around and they all share most of it or a lot of it on social media. Like, seriously, the NDA being shared, and aside from like the top secret gift that they all used, who shares a photo of an NDA? And also, if we go even further than that, is it that often that you should be signing an NDA just to have a meeting? Most employees, I assume, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, but most employees at companies, they know, or maybe when they signed on to the company, have made an agreement that they won't share what goes beyond the walls of certain meetings. So I don't know if they were like instructed to share. It's just so strange. Like, I could not get over everyone using that top secret GIF. Like, I was like, was there a discussion about it? Were they told that they should share it to kind of create some intrigue, some mystery, get people excited, get people curious? And I want to very quickly circle back to like, if the meeting was so important, it just feels so odd that they couldn't have it over something like Zoom and have it virtually. Like, I shouldn't say if it was so important, but if it was so critical and that they needed to do it so soon, like, was it because they were worried something was going to get recorded and then shared or leaked? Or was it to kind of create some hype about like there's going to be some exciting changes, like either at or after this December 1st event? So I wanted just to kind of like take a step back and look at a broader view as to why the meetings might be happening and why it feels like it might be this important shift in MLMs. Right now, as we've seen so many times and that I've mentioned, is that MLMs across the industry, many of them have since or are about to switch to an affiliate model. And if you're not familiar, affiliate models are pretty different from MLMs in that they don't require the recruiting of a downline. Instead of making money from people that you've recruited onto your team, you solely will make money off of commissions. So a lot of us have probably purchased through an affiliate link, whether that be from an influencer on social media, or like for me, my other job is I'm a food blogger. So people will click a link for like an ingredient or an appliance or what have you, and then I can make a small commission off of that purchase. So the positive side of this is that there's no hierarchy. It's just about the products. You sell the products and you get paid. That's the beginning and end of it. It's just a lot simpler of a business model. And then, of course, it sidesteps the entire controversy that MLMs create, like the pyramid scheme accusations. So companies like Beachbody are transitioning to this model, and it's really kind of starting to shake up the industry for like what reps can expect for the future of their jobs. Leaders at the top of these MLMs have lost all their power and all the money that comes from their downlines. So then what we've seen happen is that they just jump ship and they don't just stay around and become an affiliate for the company that they've basically devoted their job to. They just move to another MLM. And I'm starting to think that maybe that's what MONAT is starting to strategize around, is that they are seeing this happen. So if they aren't going to become an affiliate company, because I really don't know, but if they're going to stick with their MLM structure, I'm almost wondering if they're trying to incentivize people that are jumping ship from MLMs who are shifting to an affiliate structure. They want to incentivize them to come to MONAT. Or it could be that they are just having this meeting and are maybe testing the waters on making the shift themselves. and are trying to have a meeting in advance of that shift to get the top leaders and their highest earners maybe like on board with their decision. And aside from the fact that MLMs are horribly predatory and are terrible business models for most everyone involved in them, affiliate marketing is just in general more appealing to more people. Being in an MLM is an endless cycle of recruiting, which is just exhausting. It feels, I assume for most people, way less complicated. And they don't have to have that relentless argument either internally or externally with people about not being a scam and not being a pyramid scheme. If MONAT is considering doing this, it is a pretty big deal, and not just for them, but for the industry as a whole. At the same time, though, I really don't know how this would work for MONAT. Their entire system right now relies on building a team. So if they took that away, what does that mean for those reps, like the reps, for example, that were at these meetings? Would they just lose everything? It's likely if they do what these other former MLMs have done. I really don't know. But I do know that companies shifting to an affiliate model is really significant, especially significant for this anti-MLM community. It is quite literally changing how these companies operate and how people view these opportunities and these companies as a whole. And so maybe that's what these meetings in Miami were about. And I want to wrap this all up with a clip of the CEO giving a toast before dinner. I believe it was on night one of the meetings.
That believe in you, that believe in us. And we're talking about thousands and thousands of people, not only here, but around the world. So let's give a toast for all of us, for the blessings that we have.
So he says, I believe in you, I believe in us. We're talking about thousands and thousands of people here, not only here, but also around the world. So let's give a toast to all of us for all the blessings that we have. And that just felt like a perfect way to end all of this, because it sort of sums up what I feel like MONAT is trying to sell, which is like these like endless blessings and like these dream lives. But I thought it was really interesting, and I want to focus on that he mentions the thousands and thousands of other people all around the world. Most of those people are not building their dream lives. They're stuck at the bottom of the pyramid, holding on to hope while they see the people at the top getting all those rewards. And with that, that is all I have for you guys today. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this one. If you liked this video, I would love for you to subscribe, like, leave a comment. It kind of just tells the YouTube algorithm that you enjoyed it and it helps me build out this channel. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!